Hello, my name is Keith Bailey, here to do my picks for NFL Week 2. First of all, plenty of surprises in Week 1. The Seahawks winning, I probably should have picked the Seahawks. Why did I switch my Falcons pick? My gut, I knew, I just knew it. My gut was telling me Atlanta, and I went with a safe pick and I picked the Saints. And I should have stuck with the Falcons. Um, the Ravens lost at home. The Bengals are better than we thought. Buffalo beat Chicago in Chicago. That was a surprise. Texans winning. That wasn't a surprise. Tennessee winning. That wasn't a surprise. No, it's not a surprise, and I am stoked about it because people keep overlooking us. We're gonna continue beating people. So beating teams, I should say. Uh, Miami over New England. That was a shocker. Uh, Jets beating Raiders, that wasn't a surprise. Eagles beating Jags, that wasn't a surprise. Steelers beating the Browns, that's not a surprise. But the way the Browns came back in that game, they got to get some credit. Minnesota thumping the Rams, now that was surprising. This Vikings team could be better than people think. And I've even said it in my videos, I even think that they're underrated. And I've been saying it. Niners beating Dallas, that's not a surprise. The Buccaneers let me down, man. Yeah, they tried coming back, but they lost. So, not a good start for my surprise division winner, but we'll see what happens. Broncos, Lions, and Cardinals all winning. That's no surprise. So, pretty decent week. I went 10-6 in my picks. Could have been 11-5 had I stuck with Atlanta, but 10-6 is not a bad record to start out, especially in week 1. So now I go to my picks and predictions for week 2. First game, Steelers at Ravens. A lot of people are picking the Steelers. Not me. I'm going for a pick not a lot of people are going for. I'm picking the Ravens at home. I like them. 24-19 over the Steelers. I get what's going on with the Ravens right now, but doesn't mean it's going to be a distraction. Miami played on Thursday Night Football against the Bengals last year after all the hoopla that they talked about with the whole bullying scandal, and they still came out on national television and they managed to beat the Bengals. So I don't think that has much to do with it. I just don't see the Ravens losing 2 in a row at home. They don't do that. The Ravens went 8-0 at home a couple of years ago, back in 2012. I think the Steelers and Ravens are at least gonna split. That's what I believe, and I think the Ravens get the home game, 24-19. Next game, Miami at Buffalo. One of these teams is gonna be 2-0, and I think it's gonna be the Miami Dolphins by a score of 31-23. Dolphins flat out have the more impressive victory, regardless of whether or not Buffalo was in Chicago. Yes, the Bills did beat a pretty good Bears team, but we all know how good the Patriots have been the last decade and a half. So it's like, and it wasn't even close. Miami won that game easily. Next game, Saints at Browns. I had the Saints winning 27-17. I have Cleveland hanging around a little bit because I think they're going to play a little better than what people think. And the Saints typically are not a good road team, but I think they're able to take care of a team like the Browns. Next up, Lions at Panthers. Lions on a short week. I like the Lions here against the Panthers 21-17 because I don't see the Panthers going 2-0, especially with all the questions that they've had this past off season about whether or not they can repeat as division champs. And Detroit looked pretty good, if you ask me. They look like a different team, a team that's not going to make as many mistakes as they made last year. Penalties, that's a different story, but turnovers, Matthew Stafford's limited them. Yes, it's only been one game, but one game can set the tone. So I have the Lions 21-17 over Carolina. Falcons at Bengals. Interesting matchup here. I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals 31-24. I think the Falcons keep it close. Remember, Atlanta isn't typically too good of a team on the road. That's why they call Matt Ryan Matty Ice when he plays at home, because the Falcons are good better at home than they are on the road. And the Bengals went 8-0 at home last year during the regular season, and the Bengals just don't lose at home. So I have to go with the Bengals, especially with the way the Bengals looked against a team like the Ravens. That defense is scary good, and I think it might be up there with Seattle a little bit. Call me crazy, but I think I think Cincinnati, people need to look out for them this year. Next up, Cowboys at Titans. I'm picking Tennessee in this game to win 28-17. I'm loving the offense, all the weapons that Tennessee has on offense. They have four running backs, and they have four good pass catchers in Delanie Walker, Kendall Wright, um, Justin Hunter, and Nate Washington. I mean, there's weapons everywhere, and as long as Jake Locker can stay healthy, this Titans team, with the schedule they have, will be a playoff team. And mark my words, when you play the NFC East and the Jags and Texans twice a year, I mean, look at the AFC West last year. The AFC West played the NFC East, and they sent three teams to the playoffs. So maybe it's that division. But I have Tennessee beating Dallas. Dallas doesn't have a good defense whatsoever, and I think Tony Romo makes more mistakes. Next up, I'm picking the Jaguars to upset the Redskins. I think I like what I saw from the Jags in the first quarter of Sunday's game. Yeah, they didn't do it for the whole four quarters, but the Redskins are a mess, I think. And I think the Jaguars win 24-23. I think the Redskins get close because they are at home. But at the same time, I think the Jaguars, I mean, and that, I forgot his name, but that wide receiver that Jacksonville has looked pretty good. I mean, Jaguars are a team on the rise. Patriots at Vikings. I mulled this game over several times. I wanted to pick Minnesota so badly, and I might switch my pick here before the game. But for now, I'm sticking with the Patriots because Tom Brady is Tom Brady and Bill Belichick is Bill Belichick. And this team hasn't started 0-2 since 2001. And that was 13 years ago. There's no way Tom Brady, I think, loses his first two games to start 2014. And I know Minnesota has improved, and I have the Patriots taking it 34-27. I think Mike Zimmer and North Turner on Minnesota, that's a dangerous duo right there. And I think the Vikings keep it close and show people that they are contenders this year. And like I said, I've been saying it the entire preseason. I think Minnesota can jump up and surprise people. But I have the Patriots on the road. Cardinals at Giants. I'm picking the Cardinals to win 20-10. I love that comeback that Arizona had against San Diego. Showed a lot of moxie and a lot of determination to get that game. But the Giants' offense is a mess. I mean, Detroit isn't typically known for their defense, but they held the Giants down pretty easily last night. And yeah, it was 14-7 at the halftime, but the Lions just erupted, and from then on, just forget it. So I have the Cardinals winning pretty easily in New York. Seahawks at Chargers. A lot of people are pegging this to be a possible upset pick. I think people are crazy like I was when I picked the Packers to beat the Seahawks, because the Seattle Seahawks are a different kind of monster, and they've had extra time to prepare for this game against San Diego, and I think the Seahawks take it 26-16, and San Diego drops the Chargers to 0-2. I think Seattle gets to 2-0. Rams at Buccaneers. The St. Louis Rams the wheels are coming off, and I think the Buccaneers take advantage of that. They were supposed to win last week, the Buccaneers were, but if they don't win at home in St. Louis, then I would have to say that I was off on my Buccaneers winning the division pick if they lose this week. But I don't think it's going to happen. Buccaneers take it 23-10. Chiefs at Broncos. I'm picking the Broncos 37-20. Kansas City is going to regress even more. And I think Tennessee exposed a lot of their flaws in last week's game. Alex Smith threw 3 interceptions in that game, and Jamal Charles, although the Chiefs didn't utilize him like they should, still was only held for 34 yards on 12 touches, I believe it is. Yep, 12 touches for 34 yards, which Tennessee did contain him, but the Chiefs could have used him more because he can break out at any minute, I tell you. So I think the Broncos take it. Jets at Packers, pretty easy game for me to predict. The Packers have had extra time to prepare, and I think they win 28-13 over the Jets. The Jets win last week. It was against the Raiders, so I mean you can't put an asterisk next to a game, but I mean come on here. Um, Next game, speaking of, Raiders are at home against the Texans. I'm picking the Raiders in this game. I liked what I saw from Oakland against the New York Jets. Oakland traveled cross country and showed a lot of fight against the Jets. Derek Carr looked pretty good, if you ask me, in his first NFL game. Although, yes, he lost, but look at Andrew Luck lost his first game against Chicago when he was a Colt. He got demolished. But I think Derek Carr is going to take his Raiders at home and win the game 17-14 over Houston. The loss of Jadeveon Clowney is going to hurt the Texans. Sunday night game, Chicago at San Francisco. I'm picking the 49ers to win 30-21 over the Bears and drop the Bears to 0-2. Chicago really should have won last week because they got the 49ers up next, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were looking ahead at their Sunday nighter against San Francisco and overlooked Buffalo, expecting an easy win. But Chicago's in trouble if they lose, and I think they will lose 30-21 to San Francisco. And last, the Monday night game, Eagles at Colts. I'm picking the Colts 30-27. It would be amazing if the Eagles could pull this game out. To drop the Colts, who have been always top of the division for years, despite that 2011 season. But if the Eagles could drop the Colts to 0-2, and if Tennessee wins against Dallas to go 2-0, the problem with it though is it just feels too good to be true. So yeah, I'm gonna pick the Colts 30-27. I don't think the Eagles are gonna start 2-0. I think the Colts are going to come up fired up because they're never out in any game, no matter what the score is in the fourth quarter. And I think the Colts are gonna, like I said, I think the Colts are gonna get the win because it's too good to be true for the Colts to go 0-2. I hope they do. I don't think it will happen. Those are my picks, everyone. Thank you for watching. As always, please subscribe, and I will get back to you with my power rankings after next week. See you guys later.